Hello, welcome back to Your Light in Darkness. I'm Ashley. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If this is your first time joining or you are a repeat viewer of my channel, welcome and thank you so much for tuning in each time I post a message for you. This message is a follow-up to a video that I did yesterday. And the video that I did yesterday was about how going within is the way out during this time. If you didn't get a chance to check out that video, I'll leave a link to it in the description box so you can check that one out. But I wanted to go deeper into why going within is so powerful and what it truly helps you with and what it just does in your life overall. So whether or not you're learning this and applying it to your right now life, or maybe you're going through some things and you're seeking a change, or maybe you're just not at a place that you want to be and you want to change. I'm going to teach you a little bit more about what I mean when I talk about going within and how that really truly can transform your life, your circumstances, and just really the experience that you're currently having, how it shifts and transforms things. So get ready. If you want to take some notes, I welcome you to do so. And let's get started. Okay, so I have some notes here. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm going to try to help myself stay on track a little bit better, and just to make it a little bit simpler for you guys to follow along. All right, so what is this when I'm talking about going within? So when I'm mentioning going within, what I'm speaking about is kind of putting what you see on the outside to the side, just kind of putting that on pause, putting that on hold, and going within to begin to explore and figure out what's going on with you internally. This is an aspect of self-discovery, self-awareness. This is an aspect of becoming in tune with who you are at a spiritual and energetic level, with really getting to know yourself on a deeper level, going beyond the surface, beyond what your experiences and other people have dictated and told you are. This is going really, truly doing deep inner work. And the purpose of it is so that you can heal. You can heal from traumas of your past, heal your shadow self, or the parts of you that have been hidden, repressed, the parts of you and your experience that you don't like, that are uncomfortable, that are painful. This will help you align more with yourself at a soul level, a spiritual level. You will be more in tune with what's going on energetically and at a spiritual level. The ultimate goal is so that you heal your heart, your emotional space, which in tune heals your mind and your thinking space, so that you can elevate and operate at a higher level of understanding and a higher level of who you are in a more aligned way. And I know I just said a lot, but it's all valid, because what happens when you go within and you begin to do the inner work and really work in the heart space, that heart chakra energy, you get in tune with your emotional self. And I know that that's uncomfortable for a lot of people if you've never really gone in depth into figuring out who you are into learning, into really getting into parts that are easy to ignore in the way that society is set up. If you Because there's a lot of distractions and things to keep you away from learning who you are, and things to keep you away from healing, and things to deter you from even wanting to go there. There's multiple ways to do this, and I'll talk about that in other videos, but the main goal is to go within so that you can begin to heal yourself at a heart space level, and then that in turn is going to help you in the way that you see yourself. So that will help you with your self-image, your self-worth. And once you begin to see yourself a different way, then something amazing happens. Things around you begin to shift, and circumstances that you thought were not possible before, that you thought were so challenging that they would never happen for you, things like that, they begin to unfold for you. And the more that you align with who you truly are, align with your purpose, align with what you are here to do, align with the higher version of yourself in various ways, things work out. And it takes work, yes. It's not just something that just is going to happen. You have a part to play in this, along with our divine creator, and along with aligning with who you are at a spiritual and soul level. So there's many layers to this, but I promise you it's worth it. It's really, really worth it. And for instance, during this time, it's commonly shown how there is mass chaos, and a whole lot of people are just in a lot of low places and suffering, which is by design. A lot of times, through challenging situations, I can speak to this from many that I have observed and spoke with, and in my own life, through challenging, hard places, big transformations are started. And this time period is one of those. It's one of those times where things are being changed at a rapid level, and it's very uncomfortable. But in this is also birthing newness, and is laying a new clean slate to go in a different direction. And so I know that there's a lot going on, but you can take this time to begin to ask and explore yourself in a way that you never have before. And so what happens is, when you go within and you begin to do the healing work, you do the shadow work, you begin to heal your life experiences. And when you do that, it begins to shift how you show up for yourself, how you show up in the world. People perceive you differently, and things just shift. But again, it involves work. Your thinking mind, how you see things mentally, will begin to shift as well. And that is the part where, and I was discussing, the way out is within. So when you begin to see things differently, even in your now circumstances, because you're beginning to approach life differently, then instead of seeing everything wrong that's happening, you'll begin to be able to see the opportunities available in what's going on now. And let's take something as simple as, you've always wanted to get back into your love of drawing, but you never had time because you were always working. Well, say your hours got reduced at work, and so now you're only working 20 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week. And I know that that's scary, because you're like, well, what am I going to do? while you are working out how you're going to bring in what you need to take care of you and your family, if you can get yourself at a good place where you're able to calm yourself enough and begin to put your energy into your drawings, into your art, well, there you've opened up a space for you to explore a love of yours, a creative outlet of yours that you didn't have time to do before. But if you just focus on the need of figuring out the other 20 hours where you're going to make up this loss of income, which I get it. I truly get it. I'm not being insensitive to anyone. And again, this is just a hypothetical example. But if you are focused on that, but you can't step back and say, well, now look, I have this time that I can draw. And I've always wanted to draw. And so I'm going to use this time to draw. I'm going to set aside a couple hours a day to see if I can find something real quick. Boom, line it up. But this other time I'm going to use to take up my art again. And you never know where that could take you, because oftentimes when you are doing things that you are aligned to do, doors open up, ways are made. It's beautiful. And you have to trust it, and you have to trust the process. That trust is gained over time, because one thing, when you are living spiritually, not just going through the motions, not just talking about it, but like when you are really, really, this is your life. It's not something that you do part-time on the weekends. It's really your life. It's a beautiful thing. And you will be amazed at how your life will shift and transform when you really embrace that there's another way of being and existing than what you were told. And again, that's on to another video, but just think of it in that way. That's just a minor example of how you can find the opportunities, even in perceived low moments. There are opportunities that you can say, hey, well, I might not have this, but I have this. And so I can make a way, and I can bring this together and do something that I wanted to do anyway. I hope that makes sense. As I'm talking, if you have questions or thoughts, please leave them in the comments, and I'll make sure I go through as many of them as I can, because I want to hear you guys' thoughts, questions, and what, where you're at with this. Okay. And so we talked about how doing this, shifting and healing your heart space, you show up differently. Your relationships and your people that you're associated with, family members, all these things that might have been in turmoil, you will begin to experience a different relationship with whatever it is, whenever you begin to heal and shift and think about things differently. You'll begin to tell yourself a new story. You'll in fact not only be telling yourself a new story, you'll be living a new story, living a new version, living in a new experience. And again, I say beautiful a lot, but it is a beautiful, beautiful experience. Okay, let's see what else I wanted to discuss with this. The power. Okay. In this society at large, we've been taught to give our power away, our energy away, but that is just not what it is. All this focus on this external stuff is a big distraction, and it was done on purpose. I say that, and I'll keep saying that because it's true, because you are powerful. But life circumstances, trauma on top of trauma, being defeated, all these things have made you think that you aren't, but you are. And I'm telling you this, whoops, sorry, I probably knocked the mic and it made a loud noise. My apologies. But I'm telling you this as a person that did not know who I was and my worth for a long time because of life experiences and being dictated by other people, what they told me and what they told me I should be and all this stuff. But I'm here to tell you, in case nobody has ever told you, or in case you need the reminder, that you are powerful. You just have to learn who you are and align with that, and learn that just because things have always been one way, that doesn't mean that they have to stay that way. You have the power to change. You have the power to shift, and you have the power to create a life that is for you, that you deserve, that you desire. Always know that. All right. So we've talked about how this shifts your life experiences, your heart, your mind, and your beliefs. And that you have the power to align your desires with your energy. And I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to just briefly mention it and do another video about it. But so, I keep talking about your personal energy, your energetic blueprint, and cosmic energy, astrological energy, whatever you want to call it, but it's a real thing. So one of the biggest ways you can learn your own personal energetic signature is by learning your astrology, your personal natal chart. And there's many tools you can use online to help you pull up a chart, and it will begin to teach you who you are, about all of your signs, where the planets and stars were at the exact moment of your birth. And this is a tool to help guide and navigate you through this life experience. It's something that it has helped me drastically. I was into and learned about and delved into astrology and esoteric knowledge from the age of 16, but I got away from it and then came back to it in my 20s, got away from it again. But then in my 30s, when I really embraced it and really deeply got into learning who I was and just learning about the universe and nature and how it all aligns and our place in it, and things just began to really open up, and I healed at a level that I never would have had I not begun to learn who I was. And it continues to be a beautiful tool that I wish that more would embrace. And we're in a time that more people are coming back to it. Even people that just totally called it a bunch of crap, they're even exploring it. Some of them might never tell you that they are, but they are. So that's something that I highly recommend. Go get your birth chart. Just go. You can go to cafeastrology.com. Astroseek.com is a really good one also. And you can get your birth chart, and it'll start to tell you all about where your sun, your moon, your rising, Venus, Mars, and all the planets are, all the zodiac signs associated with them, the houses and the placements, and more. It goes deep, and there's different ways to interpret astrology and to see it. There's so many different branches, just like there's different types of doctors, there are different types of astrologers and studies of astrology. And so I highly, highly recommend you do that. You'll just need your full name, your first, middle, last name, your place of birth, and your time of birth to do that. There are some sites that can pull up your chart for you if you don't have your time of birth. What you won't get you won't get the house information, because the house information is determined based off your time of birth, because it calculates your rising, and then goes through the 12 houses, starting with the rising sign that was present at the time you were born. But still, even if you can't get the house information, just having the basic understanding will really help you and really begin to embrace who you are at an energetic level. And I'll talk more about how I used astrology to help me. I approach astrology from a spiritual astrological view. I do some psychological astrology, but really spiritual astrology, because I use it to empower you to know who you are at an energetic level, to know what you're here to do, to align with your soul's purpose, and to help you through this life. And so I see it from a spiritual nature. But again, like I said, there's so many different viewpoints. When you see people on videos and they're talking about certain transits or planets or whatever coming up and what this means, they're looking at it as a collective way, and then they break it down based off of either your rising or the house placement or just various things to kind of predict what's going to happen. But that's one area, predictive astrology. And then there are so many others, like I said. But to start, just pull your chart, and that will really help you. And then also another area that will help you is if you learn your life path number. And so your life path number, all you do is you add up the day, the month, and the year that you are of your birth. So say you add up the month, the day, and the year, and get it to a single digit. And I'll do a separate video of that too. In fact, I have a video that I did about this, and I might just go ahead and load that. That was on one of my older channels. I might just go ahead and load that up here for you guys, so that you can learn how to do that, because I talk about a few other areas in the video as well. But those are two areas. You learn your life path number and learn your astrology, your personal astrology. It will help you. It will take you so far. And those are some tools that you can use, because what it does is, if you look at your chart and you see, well, when it comes to your relationship with personal value or possessions, and you look and it says that you have one placement in the second house, which is value, possessions, money, things like that, and you've been seeing things a certain way, but your house says that you should actually really be looking at things in a different way and having a certain experience, and you're like, well, that's not how I see it at all. Well, you know that there's a disconnect there. And so what you can do is you can begin to look at that disconnect and use that as a tool for healing, to begin to say, well, if I see it this way, but my chart says that this is what I was born with, what happened? And that's how you can get into healing that area of your life. There is so many different ways that you can do it, but that's just one quick example. So get the chart, get your natal chart. Leave me any questions, comments that you have on this video. I hope that this helps give you a better understanding of what I meant when I said going within is the way out during this time. I truly hope that this helps. But if you have questions, please leave a comment below. If you would like my assistance with any of this, feel free to email me. My email is alightindarknessforyou@gmail.com. You can email me. You can go to my website, yourlightindarkness.com, to find out what I do and how I help you. And as always, I just want to thank you so much. I want to welcome all of you guys that are new again. And thank you so much to everyone that continues to tune in each time. I will be back with another video. And until then, I appreciate each and every one of you, and make it the very best day that you can. Bye.